It would also indicate both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris chained with a great demon above them, someone spreading lies, misinformation, rumors, someone with a powerful Twitter account, little torch there. I wonder who that could be. But, and notice how the devil is orange as well. Alright, welcome back to Tarot Academy. My name is Spencer, and as always, we're going to be looking at a current event topic today. Rather than a pick-a-card reading, it is understood that Joe Biden, the Democratic nominee for President of the United States, has selected Kamala Harris to be his running mate, his vice president. This is in stark contrast to the past video I did in regards to Susan Rice being the vice president pick. I understand there was a speculated, by the way, totally speculated, a last-minute interjection by President Obama and his camp to have Kamala Harris selected rather than Susan Rice. It is at this point unknown why that was the case. However, there is rampant speculation that Susan Rice's involvement in the Benghazi incident back in, I believe, 2014 would be too much of a negative in the campaign, as well as her perceived lack of personality. Whether you agree with that or not, I'm simply referencing what I have read online, what I have been told. So today we're going to be looking at the partnership between Joseph Biden, if he wins presidency, as well as Kamala Harris's vice presidency, assuming they win. We're going to be doing a simple 9-card spread. 9 is, of course, the number of completion. And we want to see how their partnership unfolds, how the entire first term of the presidency will unfold with a Joseph Biden, Kamala Harris, assuming that they win. We're not going to make any predictions about the election, just how they're going to win. Now, I personally am of the belief that Joe Biden will likely not finish his term. I do believe that Kamala Harris would likely become president, assuming that Joe Biden and her win. This is just a personal guess, observation, so we're going to suspend that judgment when we do this reading, of course. Okay, well, first of all, I draw, I read, and then I flip for you. It's just a camera angle thing. Now we have the 5 of Cups here. This is a card of solitude, a card of emotion, a card of a bit of recklessness, truth be told, and likely highlights division between America's 2 political factions, Republicans and Democrats. We have here 2 people, 2 cups who appear to have gotten their way. They anchor the cloak of this man, who is likely Joe Biden, representing Democrat voters. The 3rd cup on the ground likely represents people who are apathetic about politics and do not care, and the other 2 cups on the ground represent Republicans. So we have the engaged Democrat voter base anchoring Joe Biden's presidency, guiding his opinions, America represented in the background, the river representing time flowing, and then, of course, those who do not care, their cup lie empty upon the ground, such as the fate of the apathetic or the defeated, in the case of the Republicans if this were a Joe Biden victory. Now, there is no representation of Kamala Harris in here. This is merely a Joe Biden reflection. This could also indicate questions surrounding his mental health. I personally do not know anything about this. I refuse to accept a combination of someone's gaffes as perhaps evidence of mental incompetency. I don't really see that as valid. I have over 100 videos on YouTube. If you cut out every segment where I make a mistake, you could probably say that I too have a mental illness, quote unquote, if you just compile all of the verbal mistakes I have made throughout 1,000 hours of content. Temperance. So, number 16 in the major arcana, 1 plus 6 is 7 in numerology, card of intelligence. There's feminine energy here, emotional balance energy here. This likely represents what Kamala Harris brings to Joe Biden's campaign and brings to the table in government. A experienced, level-headed woman who was a former prosecutor, knows the law, is educated, does not act on a whim, is not rash in her action, Joe Biden, for all his qualifications and faults, he has been known to put his foot in his mouth quite often, in fact, all the time it seems. And while this can be perceived as an endearing quality to most Americans, abroad it could be perceived as a sign of stupidity or weakness, and Kamala Harris certainly brings balance to that, hence why she is represented here by Temperance. Now, the Chariot. 7 in numerology, again another card of intelligence. So Kamala Harris is obviously, as a prosecutor, smart as a whip and very quick to understand a situation, very quick to form a retort, and very quick to draw both sides of the account, very quick to understand both sides of the argument, as represented by the White Sphinx and the Black Sphinx. Male, female, good, evil, right, wrong, yin-yang duality is essentially what's represented here. The Chariot represents speed and swiftness, 7, of course, intelligence. So Kamala Harris is effectively exactly what the Biden campaign needs. And the more I read into this spread alone, the more I understand that her pick over Susan Rice, regardless of any third-party interventions, was likely a better scenario for the Biden campaign and for America. As, quite frankly, Susan Rice does not have the personality that Kamala Harris has. She does not have the stage presence. Kamala is quite a tall woman. She's quite commanding in her stature. And while Susan Rice is very capable as well, I don't really see her leading a rally of 10,000 chanting people. With Kamala, that's extraordinarily obvious. Now, this has been a pretty intense 3-card reading. If you want a free 3-card mini reading, you can click the link down below, chat with one of our students, ask your question, pick the 3 cards live in the chat, and then leave us your birthday and we'll give you a free birth chart as well as a free 3-card reading just like this. I can interpret a lot for you with 3 cards, so you can imagine what I can do with 6 more. Now let's see how Kamala and Joe get on. Well, it would appear that they can defeat anyone who would seek to slight them. The 5 of Swords reversed. There will of course be many attempts, likely by a existing administration, etc., at disrupting the partnership and campaign of Kamala and Joe. However, we can see here with the 5 of Swords reversed the swift defeat of any attempt to crush their campaign, any attempt to crush the momentum they've indeed already amassed. The Empress reversed. So, first and foremost, this signals to me that it is likely Kamala will not, in fact, succeed Joe as president. Were the Empress upright, I would say perhaps that would be the case, but with its reversal, it would appear that she may maintain her vice presidency role well throughout the first term. However, this could change if we see a King card reversed. Perhaps that will change if we see a World card upright. That's an interesting one. Okay, well, it would appear that Kamala will obviously excel for women. She will be a champion for women, women's rights, equality, women in power, etc. And this is indicated by the joyous celebration, the raucous celebration of these 3 women in the 3 of Cups. Cups being an emotional suite, women representing the emotional side of humanity, men representing the logical, this being simply how things have been laid out, and as well as in the tarot. Now, obviously, there will be a great rejoice for women. I'm predicting likely even more enthusiasm than there was for Hillary in 2016. Kamala certainly comes across as someone who is much more likable than Hillary, and being a woman of varying ethnic background, I believe she's part Jamaican and part Indian. I'm not entirely certain with 100%, but she represents many groups who haven't felt represented, as well as women regardless of race. And this, of course, is a great strength. Now, we have the Page of Pentacles here. This is interesting. Typically, it would represent money, but in this case, I do believe it represents the youth vote. Kamala and Joe will likely ride high on the youth vote, promising not only sanity, but prosperity, and a return to norms, a return to normalcy. I recall during the Bush years, people who trended more Democrat thought it was great insanity. During the Obama years, people on the right trended toward believing it was great insanity. However, now that we have Trump, I believe people on both ends of the spectrum yearn for the past two presidencies. And the youth vote will likely come out in force in support of Joe and Kamala. Ah, the devil. Interesting. So this represents past events coming back to haunt both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This, of course, is emblematic of every politician. I mean, you can't so much as sneeze without someone dissecting it. And politics, as we know, is the most vicious of sports. This could also indicate both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris chained with a great demon above them, someone spreading lies, misinformation, rumors, someone with a powerful Twitter account, little torch there. I wonder who that could be. But, and notice how the devil is orange as well. Maybe he got a little bit of a spray tan. Who knows? The orange devil, who could that be? And lastly, we have the Ten of Pentacles upright, meaning the restoration of normalcy, the restoration of American prosperity, the restoration of sanity. Kamala and Joe. Joe, look at Joe, the old white-haired bum right there. Look at the old boy. He looks good. He's never looked so good. Interesting. So I would say that based on this reading, not only was Kamala the superior choice over Susan Rice in public perception, it will likely allow them to win the vote. It's quite surprising, really. Despite whatever occurs, it would appear that we will see a Kamala and Joe victory. That's quite fascinating. But I tell you what else, hit that like and subscribe for me. Grab that free 3-card mini reading link down below. Again, I'm Spencer with Tarot Academy. I thank you very much for this current event reading. And if you have any thing you want me to cover, comment down below, as well as let me know what pick-a-card readings you want. Click the channel link too. You can see all our other videos. We got a bunch of them. Otherwise, have a fantastic day. And if you're a youth, don't forget to come out to vote.